mile wide. It was bounded on one long side by the embankment of the main line railway out of Paddington to all points west. Along the other long side sat the backs of a school, a hospital, and the eponymous H.M. prison, which all fronted on Duquesne Road. At the western end, where they were now heading, the green was called Old Oak Common, a relic of local history. The prison had been built in a tract of open farmland and common land that stretched all the way from Notting Hill to the tiny village of East Acton. Then the brick tide of London had lapped up and around and past it. Now the Scrubs was the last bit of open ground left, and some of the country's most dangerous criminals were banged up within a stone's throw of little ex-council houses, with net curtains and gnomes in their gardens. It was an odd arrangement. Atherton pulled up behind the other cars in Braybrook Street, which had houses along one side and was open to the common on the other. Slider got out to take in the scene. Already the blue and white tape was up, sealing off a large section of the green. The bank holiday was fine and warm for a wonder, though the sunshine was hazy, so it was ideal weather for the locals to be out, early though it was. The uniformed presence was keeping them well back on the other side of the road, where they chattered excitedly about this bit of fame that had come to their neighbourhood. One or two of the older ones still remembered 1966, when, in this same place, robbers had shot and killed 3 detectives in cold blood and broad daylight. They were predicting that this current murder wouldn't be a patch on that one. But then nothing these days could match up to the old times. The younger ones, ex-boxed to a state of advanced numbness where death and mayhem were concerned, were only hanging around for lack of anything better to do. The press were there, talking aloofly to each other and smoking like kippers, and so far there was just a lone TV camera team. Slider guessed they were from the local news programme. He wondered how long it would take them to catch up with the street's history. He could see the headlines now. Murder spot claims another victim. But the action this time was evidently right over at the embankment, where the white-clad forensic support team was already in the process of erecting canvas screens to shield the site from view. Avoiding all eyes, Slider started off with Atherton at his side across the grass. He found himself walking over a patch of churned ground, pitted with stud marks, baked in after a week without rain. This end of the Scrubs was marked out for football pitches, where amateur teams played at the weekends. The football season started in August these days, and he was crossing a goalmouth. He registered automatically the large brick building over to his right, which housed changing rooms, showers, and lavatories for the teams, and paused to note its relative position. Was it securely locked, or could someone have lurked in there? Then he turned to take in the rest of the surroundings. The high, blank wall of the prison was the most obvious feature, with the white-topped turrets of its towers just peeping above. The hospital also had a wall, not so high, but just as blank. Beyond that was the stout link fencing of the school playing fields. At the eastern end of the Scrubs, almost a mile away, on the other short side of the rectangle, was another school, and beside it a patch of ground which the council let out from time to time to travelling shows and temporary exhibitions. On bank holidays there was always either a circus or a fair, and this time it was the latter. The familiar shapes of helter-skelter and big wheels stuck up from the surrounding circular tent tops of the other rides and attractions. Public access to the fairground was from the far side, from Scrubs Lane. On this side of it was a dense but orderly collection of parked lorries and the living caravans of the staff. The hazy sunshine glinted off a windscreen or two, as if the fair were winking at him. "Wouldn't you like to know?" "Too far away for anyone to have seen anything," Atherton said, noting the direction of his gaze. "We'll still have to ask questions." Slider said. "That'll make us popular," Atherton said. Fairground people resented, to put it mildly, any suggestion that...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.